It's a tangled web, to be sure. But if anyone can sort it out, it's our next guest, former criminal defense attorney and legal analyst, Emily Compagno. Emily?
Hi, Tom. Thanks for having me tonight.
Yeah. So, okay, defamation. What does she have on defamation? The statement he made last night, that's defaming?
Right. She alleges with the comment that she's pouncing on is him saying it doesn't have to be true for it to be harmful. And she's a public figure, which means for her to prove defamation, she needs to prove that he knew of the falsity or that he exhibited a reckless disregard for that falsity. And what's interesting here, it's twofold. Number one, as you know, she's contesting the validity of the NDA in California court, the hearing of which has been set for July 12th. But she's amended that lawsuit to include this defamation suit. So now we have them in the same lawsuit at this point, and in the discovery for defamation, meaning in the process that she and he will go through in terms of battling it out, that is where there will be documents that will be brought to light and evidence that will be brought to light in the public sphere that might bring in the president.
So do you think that's her goal, is to try to get everything out in the public? And on the NDA, he didn't sign it. That was her original reason, because Donald Trump didn't put his signature on it. But it does have a signature on it, Michael Cohen's, right?
It does. And to answer your second question first, this is not a one-dimensional analysis of whether the contract is valid. There are a whole host of competing factors, all of which are persuasive for both sides whether or not this contract is valid. It has to be up to the courts or likely an arbitration. Note the contract does not have to be valid for the arbitration clause to supplant all of that, meaning she might be in arbitration behind closed doors along with Michael Cohen. The public will never know what's going on until after it's released. And that's part of California law, right? They seek to uphold the contract. The other factors that come into play, sure, it's his signature that's missing, but is it proven that Michael Cohen was acting on behalf of Essential Consulting or the then candidate Donald Trump, or the fact that she cashed the check? You know, there's constructive validity as well. There's a whole host of other issues. So that's something that, again, the courts or the arbiter will decide. And in terms of her seeking to publish the information, I mean, I can't speak to her goal, but it seems as if certainly the strategy behind it has been, yes, releasing of a series of information, in that for her and from her point of view, she's not beholden to the NDA. And it's more important, as she said last night, for her to get that story out. But there remains to be seen. There's so much legal ramifications for both sides, and in, as you pointed out, multiple arenas.
Yeah. So the next step for Trump, what do? They say they fight the defamation, or are they going right into arbitration?
Both, likely concurrently. So Michael Cohen will move to have it removed from the courts into arbitration, likely. So that will be something that we'll see play out. And that's part of why, you know, I spoke to the complication earlier. There's a lot going on at this time. Now, we also heard allegations of potential campaign contribution violations. So there might be concurrently a DOJ investigation, an FEC investigation. We're hearing calls for that. And that matters if this is judged an in-kind contribution, or as this goes further in the defamation lawsuit and we hear more evidence, that all comes into play. So there could be literally many concurrent things that are coming to play all at one time.
Thanks, Emily.